on this Friday, a Freestyle Friday at that. What time is it? 11:39. I got a great start to the day. It's a beautiful day here in New York City, Bronx, New York, of course. So I'm here live talking to the wonderful people of my audience and my chat, and most importantly, my subscribers. Thank you. The last time we went live, I had a great show. I enjoyed the conversation, the engagement. It felt good to be back and share some things that was going on in my life and still going on. But today I wanted to, take a lighter approach to the live channel. Let me see. What should I say? Oh, well, last night, not last night, the evening time, in the afternoon, mid evening. And when I say mid evening, I'm just talking about after the afternoon. I know I'm going on, but I went to a fashion show, just giving perspective on what time it was. Me and Zachary went in the Bronx. It was Bronx, New York fashion show. We had a great time. It was a nice show. I dressed to the nines. I was in all leopard from head to toe. That was the boldest move I ever pulled, going to a fashion show. And the other people were dressed nicely too. So it was a nice turnout. We stayed for like an hour and a half because we left around like it was right up the block, so I could walk up there to see what was going on. I didn't have to get in the car. I didn't have to take an Uber. I'll go walk right up the block. We did. We, as in me and Zachary, we enjoyed the show. He behaved himself as usual. He enjoyed it, but he's a child, so that's not for him. But that was a nice evening out. We stayed for like about an hour and a half. Came back, chilled, same regular routine. We up. He's in school. I'm here talking to you. But yeah, I was coming live because it's Freestyle Friday, so there's so many different topics we can talk about. But recently, in the last couple of months, because I have never ever, up until 2 months ago, watched Tubi or have a subscription to Tubi, and now I watch Tubi every so often because Tubi is kind of complicated for me. And I would like to everyone to share their thoughts on what they think about Tubi. Tubi is like not growing on me. I don't think I will be a major fan of Tubi. Um, I mean, they have some good stories, good movies, but it takes like a scientific method for me to watch a Tubi movie. Hey, Lasagna, how are you? Good morning. I was just talking about Tubi movies that I just started watching. Tubi movies, and I don't know. I have my thoughts on Tubi movies. I feel like let's just get right to the cut to the chase. Is that Tubi movies make like I feel like Tubi movies make the women look dumb and the men look more abusive than they really are or could be. I mean, I don't watch like I watch the movie by title. I look at the description, and if it says something like something dumb that I'm not going to be interested in, then I'm not watching it. But if it's something like I'm interested in and it's a good description and I think I have an idea of who the actors are and the plot, and I'll watch it. Because I feel like the movies I watch that's labeled like thriller, drama, it's comedy. I was watching a movie yesterday. I forgot the name of it, called Red Wine and Dine something. It was very crazy to me. Like I feel like Tubi tried to make women look really bad and like really crazy. Like they living out their fantasy through Tubi and using the men to like have their moment. Like Tubi is like a revenge for Lifetime movies because for a long time Lifetime movies were thought of as being like straightly directed and for women, which now has changed. But with Tubi, I'm like, I don't. Okay, I only mostly watch the black movies on Tubi. Like out of all the Tubi movies and thousands of Tubi movies that I've seen, only like one, only one. But I've seen like about five, six, and I know that maybe like people probably don't believe me, but it takes a lot for me to pick a movie. I watch sometimes. It's not all that. It's not impressive at all. I just feel like they make, like, especially the black movies, they make the women look very dumb, and they look the men look like, oh, he's really doing something, or they make the woman look submissive and dumb and just don't know how to make decisions or choices for their own, or make the black woman look like she's extra crazy or hysterical, or they just living out their fantasies through Tubi movies. I just can't get with it. And but I'm still, going to watch it because some of the movies are like, I'm not impressed, but some of them, they okay. Like I only watch like 5 or 6. Tell you the truth, 5, 6, and 7 will be stretching it because I can't name one. Oh, Vicious Murder with Drew Sidora. I like that movie. It came on Lifetime and it was through Tubi. Like it's a Tubi original, but it was on Lifetime. I checked it out. That was dumb. She looked dumb in that movie. She talked too much in the movie. Played a little dumb blonde. Um, and as it turns out, I think that's the first Tubi movie that I known it was a Tubi movie, and I was like, let me go see what Tubi is about, and I'm like looking through the titles, and I'm like, so yeah, Tubi. I'm still trying to like get with the program because I hear a lot of people talking about it on Facebook. So that's why I said, let me give it a chance or try, and I'm not too thrilled with it. I just don't like the way they depict women in the movies, like really dumb. Like you could be like love a man and you don't have to be that dumb, or you can love a man and you don't have to be submissive at all. Like most of the time, like when I watch the movies with the black movies, that's mostly what I watch, is because that's what's mostly, and it's a majority of black independent films on there. I watch that, but the plot, the scene, the storyline, it just seems too much of a fantasy. Like I was watching one movie yesterday, and it just goes to show you how I can tie relationships into movies. Like get content from. I'm watching a movie yesterday. I think it was called Red Wine and Dine. I'm not sure. Now there was a older couple, and when I say older couple, like about in their early 40s, late 30s, and they were married. They've been together for a long time. He worked, she worked, she had a good job. I think she was a little bit more successful than he was, but they were trying to make a baby, and he didn't want a baby yet because he said he's not financially there, but she is. The regular stupid shit that men try to run, telling a woman when she can and cannot have the baby. But that wasn't the plot. It was just the beginning, how they were trying to have a baby, and he didn't want to have a baby yet. She wanted a baby. They going back and forth, but push come to shove, he worked in an office. He met an assistant. Out the gate, the assistant was aggressive, and when I say aggressive, like let it be known that she was attracted to him, like just like that. I don't know women like that, right? I know I flirt and everything, but I'm not sexually flirting with you like that to just come out and say explicit things um, on the gate. I'm gonna at least give you a run for your money, or at least intrigue you and bring some mystery to the. But I'm not knocking her. But what I'm saying is the fact that she was so aggressive and forward and pushy and bringing up sex the first time they met, questioning him, and he asking questions. So he was a little bit decent, toned it down in a little bit, but he was still trying to act like he. And this is the husband talking to the assistant. Now, mind you, he's married. His wife has a great job, but now this is the husband going into work, meeting the assistant coming out him so strong. He's engaging in the conversation. It just made her look so dumb as a character. And I'm like, I don't like Tubi movies. I don't like the way they portray black women. They don't know they're doing it because they think this is regular. They think this is normal. They think this is like okay, like. And I'm not knocking her, but I'm just saying, like, as a man, a woman coming at you that aggressively in a sexual manner, and you just told her you're married, and she insists and keep coming on to you. So what does that make you? A weak man, right? So weak men always have this habit of calling women crazy, but deep down inside, the only reason they default to calling women crazy is because they're weak, right? She was insistent, she was aggressive, he became weak. Um, she was pushy, more or less. he was trying to act like, I'm married, my what, like all it takes is one time to let her know, listen, as a man, because I feel like men think they have this entitlement where they think that they are entitled to women, but just them being a man, and they do get it wrong most of the time. No, you are not entitled to women at all. So like with him, the guy in the movie, the husband in the movie, she's being pushy, she was being flirty sexually the first time they met. And this is supposed to be a workplace environment. He, try to push it off, and excuse me, play it off like, he wasn't interested. It only took him the next day to go to her house to have sex with her. That's how pushy she was. That's how sloppy she was. That's how obvious she was. And that's how weak he was. Right? Men don't want to admit that they are weak. They're very, very weak. Not all men are weak like that to go get seduced the next day. You didn't even, you didn't even give me time. You just was so thirsty as a man that a woman was coming on to you like that. Like you. That just goes to show you that men are weak. I'm sorry. Um, so in the movie, they did what they did the next day, but didn't take too long for her to get him to come back to the house. She did I have never done this. Like, all right, if I invite a guy over, if I have ever invited a guy over, and I'm just inviting him, and she invited him over because he drove her home, and she invited him in the home, and he came in the home. She asked him, do he want a drink? He said no. He turned it down like about twice, and then the third time she was insistent. I mean, she was pushy. Like, I never seen a woman that pushy and that insisted on doing something when you're being rejected. He rejected her, but she didn't take no for an answer. So I should just sum it up like that. She wasn't taking no for an answer. She had an agenda, and she set out to get it, and she achieved that agenda. But what I'm saying is, like, when they first came in the house, she asked him, do he want a drink? He turned it down. Finally, he took her offer up on a drink. She goes and changed her clothes and wear a black t-shirt, and she had a fat butt. She was thick. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, her body was just like so beautiful. She was thick. She had a fat ass, a small waist. That's something that a man would be attracted to, something to lure weak men in. That's who get lured in by women that come and pull off all their clothes, just by off of a drink. She's walking through the house, with a t-shirt on and some thongs. So I feel like after she walked through the house to pour him a drink and a t-shirt and a thong on, that should have been his cue right there to leave. Right there. He knew what she was doing, and he wanted to go along with it. So, and this is what I'm saying about, like, men writing movies and shit, thinking that you're not telling on yourself. It was just so crazy because this is a movie, but this is how men get lured, and this is how they're weak, right? If he wasn't a weak man, and if he had some type of, like, boundaries, so to say, or some type of control over his impulses, or some type, he's weak, right? If I'm a man, if I were a man and I'm married, and I know that I flirt with women. Hey, Chris, how you doing? If I was a man, I would just be honest like this, right? Because you already know what type of woman you are dealing with, or type of man you're dealing with, through their advances. Let's just say their intentions. Just because you have great intentions, that does not make it right. But if I were a man and a woman invited me over and I'm married, first of all, you're not getting me that far to take you home because you can't get a ride. Call an Uber. I have to go home to my wife. That's how it happened, because the assistant wanted him to take her home. She didn't want to call an Uber. Her car broke down. Every time she asked him something, he said no. She kept begging, pushy, insisted, and he became more weaker. He drove her home, walked. He even got out and walked her to the door. Why would you walk her to the door for what? Just look out to see if she get in her home safe and sound. You in your car. Why did he have to get out? So he knew what he was doing. He was weak. She's like, oh, offer him a drink. Next thing you know, she pouring him a drink in her t-shirt and her underwear. But what I'm saying is, like, if I'm not going to the car, I'm not going to the door with you. Okay, if I have to go to the door with you, I'm not going inside. I think you got it from here. I see you later. I see you at work tomorrow. But he did all the he was lured and seduced, and he wanted to be lured and seduced into her. He was acting like he was rejecting her, but still at the same time, she was at how you say it, tempting him, and he wanted it too. But what I'm saying is, like, men, you have to know where to stop. Like, you just go on acting like you're so fucking smart, and you're not that smart, but you're so weak, but you won't admit that you're so weak that it's easy to seduce you and lure you in by the drop of a dime. She didn't have to do nothing but beg. She was begging him, right? So you in your underwear, she's in. If you're in your underwear in front of me, pour me a glass of wine. That's just too much. That's not even necessary, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So she want to play games, hurt her little feelings. Nah, I'm good. I see you later. I see you at work. You doing way too much, girl. I just came over here to drive you home. I didn't come over here for all this bullshit. But that's what he wanted, because if he didn't want it, he would have never got out the car. He would have never had a drink with her. He would have never been seduced by her fat ass and some thongs, pouring wine in a t-shirt, and y'all just met. The movie got really crazy, and this is just the beginning. Like, he was like a weak person through the whole movie. The only reason I think I liked him, because he listened and he know how to repeat stuff. So, and the wife, on the other hand, and this is how dumb and weak men are. He got so dumb and weak by drinking with a woman that he was like enticed by, because she had a fat ass and poured him a drink in a wine glass and t-shirt on, a thong. They had a drink. Next thing you know, they in a room, doing what grown-ups do. He was so drunk and so weak and so tempted that he stayed out of his home and didn't go home. So I'm like, oh no, this movie is just crazy. I'm just not like, I just feel like this is shit that you hear, and I don't even want to go into that. I'm just like, this is the beginning of it, how dumb it was, how weak men appear and are and will always be. Right? Not all men are weak, because all men are not like, because some men are just smart enough to know, like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to like mess up my home for a whore. Right? Because that's what it would be called in like real life, that she's a whore, that she seduced a married man into her home with a drink and her thongs and her t-shirt. And this is just the beginning. And this is just the second day after her working there and meeting him. First day she came on strong, really, really strong, talking about, oh, so you married. That means that, started talking sexually. I'll just say it like that. And he just sitting there looking and answering questions. I'd be like, take that as a cue, like, this is a crazy woman, right? But he wanted to follow the craziness. But in the end, he did a lot of stupid things, right? It was a crazy movie. Like, I'm like, I just look at the movies now and analyze it, like, coming from my perspective and a vision. Like, I don't judge the movie, but this tends to happen in real life, where men feel like they are, like, I don't know, superior towards women. His wife was weak too. He didn't come in the night. She was calling him. He came in, and the next morning had all types of excuses and told her not to question him. All she had to say was, I was up all night slaving, cooking you dinner. No, I'm not agreeing to being in a relationship where, because I don't mind sharing as long as none of us is committed, and so as long as all of us are responsible. And when I say sharing, like, I'm not committed to him, you're not committed to her, she's not committed to you. When nobody is committed, we don't have to even sleep with each other. We all cool connections, whatever. We friends. Like, it doesn't have to be like a cult. It doesn't have to be polygamy. It doesn't have to be sneaky links. It doesn't have to be what they call it, third party sharing. It doesn't have to be none of that gory, nasty shit that people make it out to be. All it is about is connection. Is if you are a man and you call and the fake ass, like, trying to put like emphasis on a real man, like, I don't even know what that means, but okay, if you are a so-called real man, right, and you are a man that like a different variety of women, and I'm just talking to the men that's not married, because this is not for you. I'm not talking to the married men. If you are a married man, then if it's not in your contract that you can have outside relationships, then you shouldn't be cheating at all. I don't know how else to say it. If you are a grown man and you are in a committed relationship that agreed to marry your woman, your wife, your bride, right, however you may label it, you should not be tempted or seduced or lured in by obvious trap, as in case you want it. I'm just letting men know, no, you shouldn't be cheating on your wife. I mean, of course, you can look at another woman, you can admire another woman, you can even lust over another woman, you can fantasize about another woman, you can even like dance, laugh, and joke with another woman, but that's just like normal social interactions. But when it comes to something different, you going far as, having sex with her and cheating on your wife and putting your wife's life is in danger because you have a someone that you seeing and you being dishonest with, and you don't know how this woman think. Yeah, no, don't do that. Okay, don't do it. It would save a lot of lives and it would save a lot of trouble. But what I'm saying is like, if you're a man and you know that you have a lot of love for different women and you don't want no commitment, you just want a friendship and a connection. You don't have to sleep with every woman you meet. You just let everybody know, listen, I have 12 girlfriends. Someone like me would understand if you say, I have 12 girlfriends, I don't have no commitment to them. I just have friends. I have good friends. Some of them I chill with, some of them I don't. So if you ever see me walking in the street with one of my girls or one of my friends, she should know the same thing. We all should have all the information the same. It should be all equal around the board, so there won't be any type of misunderstandings. But that's not like realistic. So I don't know no man that has 10 women with no commitment at all. Friends, connection, fun, loving, whatever. You don't have to see all of them, but you have friends that you speak to. You don't have no commitment to either one of them, but there is probably one person in particular that may be special, right? Someone you'll see, because I feel like if I meet a guy and he tell me he got 10 girlfriends, no commitment, they friends, and he like to have fun, and we gonna have fun, and we responsible, that's my friend for me, because I'm gonna tell him the same thing. I have 12 boyfriends. I don't want no relationship. I'm not looking for a commitment. I do want to have fun. If you see me, Bronx girl, walking in the street with another guy, then he has the same rules that apply to you. But maybe you're a little bit more, I like you a little bit more, and we get to know a little bit. I mean, get to know each other a little bit more than the others, right? It always have to come down to you, like just not eliminating, but reducing your friends. And we're friends, so we know a little bit about each other. We know that we have friends. We know we go out. We know we don't have a commitment. There you go with the open communication. But to sneak around your wife's back and cause confusion and chaos and trouble and bring home STDs and doing all this sneaky shit, and you're supposed to be forgiven as a man, hell no. This is what these movies are about. But if they make a real ass movie, like, so women could see it differently and men could see it differently, where there could be a man and a woman that could be friends. He could have his 10 girlfriends. She could have her 10 boyfriends. They don't have no commitment towards each other. Everyone is honest. But that doesn't mean that just because, she says she have 10 boyfriends, that she have 10 boyfriends. Like, I could go on each corner and say hi. Nobody get offended. We just, everybody is cool. There's no commitment. There's no miscommunication. There's open, honest policy. And the fact the policy and it's not a commitment, it goes to show you that men and women don't know how to be friends. Because the first thing I tell guys, I'm like, listen, I don't want no committed relationship. Um, I don't want to be in a relationship. I have a lot of friends. I feel much free when I have a lot of friends. Like, I don't have to like answer to anyone. I don't have to commit to anyone. He should not have to feel like he's obligated to answer to me or explain himself to me. And this relationship dynamic is rare where you meet a guy, he'd be like, yo, I'm going out with one of my friends now, we're going here, we're going there, right? Because while he's doing that and he's letting me know, I'm like, good, you letting me know that you're going out tonight and having a good time, have fun, I see you soon, behave yourself, or do what you do. But if we friends, like that type of friend, then like who's gonna last the longest? You think all the other women that this guy, me, or and this is just an example, but I can. This is just how I am, like what I prefer, like friends. So I could insert myself, and you can just think of, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular, I'm just talking about like in general with men. If they were honest, they had like 10 girlfriends, 3 of them understood, we don't have no commitment, we don't have no no obligations towards one another, we only have open honest conversation, keep it real with all of us. But the 5 8 other girls, they don't understand, they want that phone call every night, they want to go out just about every weekend. They want to be posted up on Facebook because, we, the 3 girls that he may be narrowing it down to, are playing our parts. We respect it. We are respecting the rules. And maybe that's a lot of why a lot of women get, pushed to the side because they don't have patience to wait or fight for what they want. Like if I really like a guy and he likes me, I know he got friends, we got friends. Um, I may just like fight for him, and I'm not talking about physically. I'm just talking about waiting it out, right? We get to know each other. I know his little moods. My little moods, my little characteristics. I know his characteristics. Getting to know someone is slow and steady. It is a slow and steady process. Now that we in this era, I just feel like it should take. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. Like I think it should take at least 2 years before anyone commit. And going back to the movie, like everything I hear on Facebook is it be played on the movies. Like, oh, if you don't call me, if you don't call me, I don't call you. Um, he's not answering my text. Like I'm not sitting at home having those type of thoughts or that anxious anxiety that women have over men that don't return their call, that don't text them back, that have to pick up the phone. Like you should know the guy that you're talking to at least about his schedule, his texting schedule. But a lot of women, and it's sad to say, even my age, jump into relationships and thinking like because you have a man that you secure. And I'm not talking about like financially. I'm just talking about like, oh, okay, like you are not exempt from other men coming on to you. Just because you get into a relationship with a man does not mean that you are safe. I'm sorry. Men will hit on you regardless or not if you have a man or not. That's why a lot of women be like, I'm married. Da, da, da. Good. That should be a deflection from a man. I'm hitting on you. That's the only time I feel like, I don't know, a wedding ring matters, depending on the man, right? And that's all I'm saying is like these movies, they depict black women, and because it's black movies, in a crazy way, like submissive, dumb, stupid, crazy, hysterical, illogical, irrational. This is how it depicts. But if they make a movie where they could create a man, a beautiful, handsome, sexy black man, kind, polite, intelligent, open, honest. He doesn't have to be gay. He love women. He treat all his women the same equally. He's open and honest with his women all equally. They should know about each other. Some of them, the most important ones that he see, and a lot of women would see like, oh, you know what, and the women too, the girls too should have friends. It's not an orgy, and it's not like a cult. It's not polygamy. It's like solo polyamorous, like someone be like, oh, I don't want to do relationships, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm not looking for any commitments, I like making connections with human beings, men and women and children and dogs and animals. Like I love nature, I love to make a connection with the world, so I don't want nobody to feel special. And that's the moral. Like he should not make anyone feel special. He should treat everyone with respect. And if I was to see that on a movie, I'm like, oh, okay, so men do have you know, the quality and the skill to be open and honest and keep every woman happy, which is impossible. to keep like 10 women happy, that you treat equally, that you treat with kindness and respect. Because about five of them going to want more. Two of them probably, one probably just waited out until the the wheels fall off. And that's me. I'm going to wait it out until the wheels fall off. Because within that time, you get to see this person qualities. You get to see how this person, think, with their dislikes. So you get to see a lot of things within a small time frame, and that's how you would get to know if you want to be with that person or not. Because this has happened to me. Like, I've known guys for like 2 years, friends, friendly, um, respectful to a degree, but like we're getting to know each other. We're not like making any moves at each other. I see you, hi, how you doing? We have conversation, like adults between a man and a woman, but we know there's probably a chemistry there or sexual chemistry, but we don't act on it. But we still keep it like friendly. We still keep it respectful. I'm not making any sudden moves like that girl in the movie. Like, oh, well, you got a girlfriend? Oh no, how long you had that problem? Do you wanna go back to? No, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm not even asking men, and I have stopped asking men, um, up until a certain time if they have girlfriends. I did it. I do it. It reveals itself. I don't feel like women that's getting into meeting guys right now. If you're not looking for nothing serious, if you're not looking for an overnight relationship or getting married, don't ask a guy. Um, if he has a girlfriend. This will help you along your way. And it may seem like, that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense in the long run. I'm still doing this, like talking to guys, we friendly, we cool. We don't like hang out like that, but like it's a little attraction there. I'm not going to go to that point where I'm going to give him the idea that I'm interested in him. As soon as a woman asks a man, "Do you have a girlfriend?" he automatically think you are interested in him in that type of way and want to, you know, tie him down. So I did this, like with guys, like push come to shove, like okay, 6 months, we haven't gone out, we um we haven't. Hey, pretty in pink. How are? I'm fine, thank you. Just here talking about Tubi movies and relationships. I was discussing Tubi movies and how it relates to relationships that's happening today. Hey, pretty in pink, join in the chat. I've known guys that like, okay, around 6 months, nothing popped off. I'm not pushing it. You not pushing it. I asked you certain questions, and now it's time for me to get the answers that, I didn't want to speculate or accuse you of. So, you have to know how to talk to men. You have to know how to speak every man language because all of them have different languages. And that's how you get to know them within the 3 month, 6 months time frame, getting to know them, observing them, and know if you want to be with that person or not. And this one particular person, he's very hostile and angry against other women. I was like, I don't like this shit. I let him know. I was like, you just mean. Why you so mean? Like, but that didn't stop me from being like kind to him. Like, if he wasn't like a Diddy, he wasn't like a Diddy, but his anger and hostility towards other women turned me off. I didn't like that. So even if I did like him, and I thought I did like him, because we was cool, we were friendly, but getting to know him and, how he was and so mean sometimes, I didn't like that. I wouldn't want to have a relationship with him or pursue a relationship with him. So 6 months came around and we talking, and he said, said, what's going on? Where you going this weekend? What's up with you? See, this is how friends talk. What you doing for this weekend, or what you did this weekend? I went out to such and such place, and all I gotta say is that is where your heart is. And he knew how to answer the question. He said, something like that, a friend. I said, oh, after 6 months, you never mentioned you had a girlfriend. He said, you never asked. You never asked me if I had a boyfriend. So it goes to show you how men can reveal themselves. And I feel bad for the girlfriends. Like, how do your man should not tell. I mean, most men, they'll let you know, like if they think something is going to pop off, like right then and there, I have a wife, I have a girlfriend. If they feel like you getting mixed signals, or if they feel like. Good morning, Teresa. How are you? Do you wait? Do you think the movies in Tubi is realistic Some of them, like not realistic, but it happens in real life, right? Because like with the Tubi movies, like the one that I just was sharing, this happens like yes, some situations is real life. Like I'm like, this is where they get their ideas from. Like with these men in Tubi movies, thinking that they have a dumb woman that she'll just um, you know, accept anything. It just with the Tubi movies, it goes to show you how men really think and how they think that they're rational and logical. But through this movies that Tubi make, it just goes to show you that they make women look dumb, irrational, crazy, hysterical, and not too smart. But yeah, because I've seen situations where on Facebook people saying like, oh, the same plot lines. Oh, he didn't come in last night. He got a side chick. I guess it was supposed to be a husband and then a side chick. Yeah, I believe that husbands do have side chicks, and I don't even like that term. Men have so-called side chicks, but us women, we explore our options. It's a totally difference. Men leading women on, lying to them, thinking they have chances with them, and this is what happens in Tubi movies, and this is, I think, more so than ever, it's common for men to lead women on, giving them an impression that they will have something, and that goes and it just goes back to what I was saying with the guy. He was an older guy too. He's a bit older than me, so I had to at least help him not explain, but be a little bit more truthful and honest. Like, I said, I feel bad for your girlfriend. Why didn't you? I didn't even like. I mean, how you say it? Dwell on the situation of him not having telling me that he had a girlfriend. But I said, yo, it's been 6 months. You never once mentioned you had a girlfriend, a friend. And then he was so quick to jump up and say, oh, you never asked. But why would I ask you if you have a girlfriend? What reasons would I have to ask you that? And you see, when you do unexpected things, because men expect that shit, right? Just by him saying you never asked, he expected me. He thought I was going to ask him within in those 6 months. I didn't, right? So the trick is on you. But even so, in that same situation, we didn't pop off. I guess he was rejecting me, but I still was being kind and polite to him for the reasons that there was no reason for me not to like be kind and polite because you rejected me. I took the rejection. There's no love lost. But at the same time, women that have men that you flirt with, you could flirt with other women, you could talk to other women, you could joke with other women, but why would you keep away or not tell the woman that you flirting with, joking with, having fun with, and nothing is going on, nothing is popping off, that you have a wife or a girlfriend? Like, I have met guys, like, I'm thinking, I'm not saying it has nothing to do with cool, that we are cool, we laugh and joke and everything. 3 months, 4 months later, they they be like my wife, and I'm like to myself, because sometimes I don't like, I just let it rock. Like, oh, he never mentioned he had a girlfriend. It's been like 6 months. I've known him for like 6 months, 8 months, and we just cool, right? Because if I have a boyfriend and I'm still flirting, he will come up in a conversation quite often. So I let the guy have the idea that, listen, I'm not alone, right? It was probably take you a whole decade for me to get your attention, or you get my attention if I'm with someone. Like, I'm not that easily that I'm going to sleep with a guy because I have a boyfriend. Like, I'm not a cheater. I should just say that I'm not a cheater. Okay, but with the guy, and in similar situations with Tubi movies, right? It has you thinking like, yes, this happens in real life. There are men that lead women on, that lie to them, lie to their wife. And in the movie, he gave his wife a STD, and that's common, that your partner can bring you home or may bring you home a STD. You usually get a STD infection, excuse me, I should say infection, through your partner, right? That was another stupid thing about the movie. You cheating on your wife with a obvious woman that may be like a random woman that you didn't get to know, just she's giving you a infection for you to bring home to your wife. The wife forgave him and everything. First of all, if you cheating on me and I'm like, yo, are you cheating? And you say either you say no, I'm not gonna ask you. I'll probably ask you once in a lifetime. That's all it takes. 3, 5 years pass by, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? We having a conversation. I'm just asking, are you cheating? And it's up to the person, the husband, to say yes or no, tell the truth. But if he's not cheating, I would say, okay, thank you. Because if you do cheat on me, husband, boyfriend, partner, it's over between us. There's not an excuse I can think of as to why you would want to cheat on me unless like I was sick or it's not too many excuses that you could give. And I say that to say is what I say and what I mean is like when the husband was cheating on the wife, what was the reason for him to cheat on her? Like I didn't see the reason for him to cheat on her at all. Right? He didn't have a reason. There was no reason for him to cheat on her. But she forgave him and she overlooked it. I'm not doing none of that. Like if we together for like 5 years, 3 years, and you cheat on me and you tell me or I find out, it's over between us. I'm gonna ask you, why did you cheat on me? I don't even care with who. I'm like, why did you cheat on me? I'm gonna ask this question, why? And I just feel like there's no excuse that you can tell me or a reason that you can tell me why you cheated on me, right? These are the questions that women need to ask instead of making assumptions and shit, because women make assumptions too, or they jump to conclusions or speculate about the dumbest shit, right? Some of the assumptions be correct, but yeah, but she accepted him back, and it was after he brought her an affection. The movie was just crazy. It was just abusive. It was crazy, right? And when I say abusive, I mean abusive, and I'm not talking about like, oh my goodness, like a Diddy abusive. No, Tubi ain't stupid, right? I'm not talking about that in that sense. But this movie was abusive. Like if you have to go, I don't know what the name of the movie is, a Red Wine and Dime, but that shit was just dumb. Like the mistress, the girl that he got the infection from, she wound up pregnant. She was coming by like a what is it called? A stalker, a fatal attraction. The side chick was coming into the couple's home, getting in their pool. He coming outside, talking to her, asking her what he's doing here instead of calling the cops on her. He was intrigued by all of this. And I feel like that part right there, no, some of the shit, like, that's not realistic for a side chick to come in your home and you come outside asking her what she's doing in your pool and your wife is sleeping upstairs. No, that's not realistic. But having a side chick is, and lying and deceiving your wife is realistic. But because any real man in a movie, she's swimming in their swimming pool, he would have called the cops, or he would have like probably killed her because she trespassing. No, that's not realistic. But or a fatal attraction, going into his home while the wife is sleeping, and they getting it on next to the wife. So it was just kind of fantasy. It was kind of stupid. But like the plot, like a man cheating on a woman, a husband cheating on the woman, having a whole woman on the sideline to his wife saying he's not cheating on her, bringing her home an infection. She's taking him back. She's forgiving him. He's being dismissive, abusive towards her verbally and mentally. Yeah, that's realistic. That happens most of the time in relationships. So, yeah, but the Tubi movies, I just feel like they degrade black women in a way, making black women look really dumb and stupid, accepting these men behavior on flat screen. I will still continue to watch it, but it's not like something that I'm dying to watch, or is, I don't know. Yeah, I got to go check it out yourselves. It just reflects on how relationships are, and that brings me back to just saying that with men being open and honest, making everyone happy, being kind, polite, and intelligent, effective communication. Everybody's on the know what's going on. If you're not on board, look, it's not even a relationship. It's just the fact that he can be open and honest and keep all his women at bay, and they keep all they friends at bay. It's not a cult. It's not polygamy. It's just that nobody has a commitment or any obligations. You just getting to know. It's a circle. You getting to know the person you might be interested in, and that's going to take a while. And some women, we as women, we don't wait. We want something overnight. We want something quick and fast and in a hurry, because we as women, especially women, black women in the black community, we are supposed to be conformed. We are supposed to have these expectations that if you don't have a man, that is something wrong with you. Or if you can't keep a man, there's something wrong with you. Or if a man is abusive and you don't want to stay, there's something wrong with you. No. I don't even tell people I'm single. I just be like, yo, I got 12 boyfriends. Like, I'm single legally. The state and the government recognize me as single legally. If I was married, I wouldn't be single. I would be married. That's not being single. So, yes, I'm single legally. Um, and it's such a freeing, like, and it's so crazy. Let me end this like this. Oh, my gosh. Like, you and men, you guys are absolutely terrible when it comes to certain things. If two women are fighting, or women are fighting over men, it's because men are troublemakers. I've seen it. Like, and that's another thing that they were showing in Tubi, like the men playing women against each other. That happens here in real life, because I've seen it happen. I experienced it happen. But see, I'm the type of woman to, like, stop all that. Like, can all that before it happens. I'll put the men in check. And men don't like when I put them in a place, because I let them know, like, listen, you are a troublemaker. You are starting trouble between me and another woman, right? I can't be your friend no more. I don't want to be your friend no more. This has happened, right? Started trouble between me and another woman, and I know the woman not like that, but I know of her we spoke. But anyway, well, what I'm saying is I'm not going to check the woman ever, because he's the person that's starting all the trouble. But before it escalate and it get out of hand, because the other woman don't know what's going on, but I'm letting you know I see what you're doing. And this is what men do. They are troublemakers when it comes to other women. Like, I'm the confident one, yes, because I have to be. I'm the one who wants to show the man and let the man know, like, I go about my way easily and quickly. Even if you reject me, I'm still going to be cool and kind to you, right? So if a man rejects a woman and she's okay, she accepted, they have a problem with that. Like, they don't want you to be kind and friendly anymore. They want you to mope around, be sad, and acting like, oh, well, you know what, I didn't want her, so now she mad. No, I'm not mad. That's what they don't realize. I'm not mad. But what I'm saying is, when men are troublemakers, they do start trouble between two women, where it could be like either like get crazy, because you see it happen all over the world. That's realistic, that men start trouble between women. They do. I'm not the one to let it go down like that. I'm not checking the woman. I'm not saying nothing to the woman. Once I see how weak the woman is, I'm going to have to step in and take up for both of us to save y'all relationship, and to, not anything escalate between me and your man. Right? That's the person that I am. Women should become more like that. Like, you see a weak woman, she's weak. She can't really defend herself like that. She don't know what to do, because she letting this man corrupt her mind, pour information into her brain, with lies and rumors and speculation, all of that. What men do to convince another woman to dislike another woman. This is what they do. This is their tactic. This is how they move. But someone like me, that's not like. And there are plenty of women like me that's not looking for a relationship or commitment, that's friendly, cool, flirty, love being sexy, all that, and still can respect other women and have respect for other women. But see a man like this that is weak, a troublemaker, deceitful, and step up, like, listen, yo, we cool, we cool, we can't be cool no more. You should have told me that, you was messing with such and such. I would have fall back, because she don't know that you were cool like that. And you're not going to tell her. You're going to make it seem like, I was coming on to you and I wanted you, but it was equal. So what I had to do was put pinning the cushion and just calm down some tensions that may arise, because this man was very sloppy, and the same thing that he was doing, like being rude and disrespectful, like not to the point of to a woman with me, is the same thing he was doing with her, but she accepted it, like rude to women. I would never love a man that's rude to another woman. I don't care if you're attracted to her or not. Like, there's no reason for you to be that rude to another woman with all that hostility and anger. And I'm not even talking about like a Diddy. I'm just talking about like, oh, for an example, like, a guy, a woman staring at him like, hello, can I help you? Like, why are you so aggressive? That is absolutely scary. And I don't, and you get to see these little behaviors with men because you're not with them. You just observing them from the sidelines, getting to know them, seeing what you like and what you don't dislike, and they tell on themselves. And that's my advice to women. Please be friends for a long time before you jump into a relationship with another man. I mean, with a man, or whoever. Like, let it rock for a long time. You'll probably be a little bit more happier that you fell back for a while and let him come around and let him lead. That's the best thing you could do, is let a man lead in the beginning, because you following his lead. And as soon as you see that he has no skills, he's incapable, he's not trustworthy, he's dishonest, he's a liar, right? Because it doesn't take that long for these behaviors to surface, and you get to know, the man. So that's something that, if you want to further and get to know, I don't like your ways. We're not compatible. That's the only reason I think that's the only way a woman will get to know if she really like a guy, if he lead in the beginning and he shows her that he is well capable of taking them, leading them off a cliff. So I'm not the one to get led off a cliff. I'll kick you off the cliff before you pull me down with you. I guess that's like what I'm trying to say. I will kick you off the cliff if you're trying to take me down with you. I'm not doing that. And that's the only way women should let a man lead, is like, how far is he willing to lead me off of a cliff? Think about it like that, How far is he willing to lead you off of a cliff? And how far are you willing to let him lead you off a cliff? Because it's so, and I guess we will call those warning signs or red flags, right? Yeah, if you want a man to lead, you let him lead you in the beginning. You follow his lead, but you're not like following him, being submissive to him. You're not taking orders from him. You're not like taking directions for him. He's not making like your decisions and your choices for you. You're just letting it glide by. And this goes back to say, like, the only way y'all should be in a relationship is if y'all best friends. Like, not like on a level where, oh, he's your only best friend that you tell him any and everything. No, not that best friend. Someone that, now I feel like with men being a best friend, I just look at it as like, oh, we open and honest with each other. That's a best friend. We trust one another. I don't have to tell you everything. You don't have to tell me everything. You don't have to keep things from me either, right? And in the movie, the girl, the assistant that was sleeping with the husband, when he spent the night, she said, I let men do what they want, because then she came out with some other shit. Because this is like lingo that's used, like, you got to let a man do what he wants because that lets you know what he wants. No, that's not true. Men could do whatever they want to do, right? Just because you can do whatever you want to do, that don't mean that you have to cheat. That means that don't mean you have to be naive and gullible. That means that you can come back home untouched. When I say I'll let a man do whatever he want to do, I'm not going to like, push him. You want to take it slow? Let's take it slow. You want to be friends? Let's be friends. You want to have fun? Let's have fun. Right? You're going to go out with your girlfriends, your homegirls? Okay, go out with your homegirls and your girlfriends. I see you tomorrow. I see you another day. I trust you enough to, and this, I'm talking about in a relationship. Like, if I say my man could do whatever he want to do, this man has to be very special, my jolly green giant. He be like, yo, my wife let me do anything I want, but I'm coming back home untouched. I'm not naive. I'm not gullible. I'm not weak. This is why she let me do whatever I want to do. She know I'm a handsome man. She know I'm sexy. She know I'm intelligent. She know that I make women feel good. That's one of the reasons why she fell in love with me, because I treat all women with respect. She know I know how to put a stop to things. This is the special man that I would never meet. Right? You see, I have a nice looking man. You have a nice looking, sexy man, intelligent man. Just, sexy for me is just like sexy for me, right? Um, but she, if I have a sexy, handsome man, and I know that women are attracted to him, and he smile with women, and he probably buy a woman a coffee without giving her the impression that he want to take out on a date, of course. Because he was generous with me. He was generous when I was dating him. He was generous when I was getting to know him with his other friends, He told me that. And this is just an example of my jolly green giant, my special man. But there's no man like out there like that. There's men that want every woman that he get with, he want her to be attached. I don't want to be attached. Not if I don't have to be. But the man in my life that I would, and I'm gonna end it like this: the man in my life that I would want and let him do what he want to do is the type of man that's open and honest, and he definitely has to be a man that knows his faults, and he definitely have to be a man that know the limits and not break the rules, or he has to be the man that is mature enough to see a beautiful woman walking by, and he see that she's beautiful, and he don't have to go running after her, hollering after her, whistling at her, insulting her. He's just admiring her beauty from afar. I have seen men that I know like cool with, like, and I think that they sexy and handsome, intelligent, but they're weak, right? Anytime a man, and I'm going to end it like this. I feel like anytime a man, I see a beautiful woman, shapely, coming, about to walk past him, right? But about to walk past him. He sees she got a nice shape. He sees she got a pretty face. A snapshot, he already knows she's beautiful. But once that man fully turn around to watch a woman walk away, with a fat ass, and you see all of them every single day, like probably every second, I just feel like that's a turn off. I saw one of my friends do that. I was just like, damn, I thought he was stronger than that. He was riding his bike. And this is just a friend. That's it. A friend. And he was riding his bike, and he saw a beautiful woman walk past him. And he turned around on his bike to let